How are you guys doing? It is Sunday, September 6th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through playoff basketball yesterday, as long as Stanley Cup hockey, along with what's going on with the WNBA and baseball, because there was a lot going on with Saturday sports. First, I'm going to take you to basketball, and in the first game of the day, the second seed Toronto Raptors are able to beat this third seed Boston Celtics 100-93, and with this win, the series between the two teams is now tied at 2. For the Boston Celtics, their big performers first. Jaylen Brown, their wing, would finish with 14 points, 6 rebounds, and a steal in 37 minutes. He shot 4 for 18 from the field, 2 for 11 for 3, but he made all 4 of his free throws. Kemba Walker, the Celtics' elite point guard, would play 41 minutes. He'd finish with 15 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal. He shot 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the free throw line. And the Celtics' elite forward, Jason Tatum, he would play 43 minutes. He finished with 24 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. He also had 5 turnovers. He shot 10 for 18 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, and 3 for 5 from the line. Going to the Raptors, Serge Ibaka will come in big for them off the bench. He'd only played 22 minutes. He finished with 18 points, 7 rebounds, and a block for them. And then out of the starters, OG Anunoby, their forward, would finish with 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 2 blocks, one of them being one of the bigger blocks of the series, blocking Jaylen Brown when the Celtics were trying to gain a little bit of momentum. I thought that was a pretty impressive play. I thought it was the play of the day. Additionally, their shooting guard Fred VanVleet would finish with 17 points on 19 shots. He shot 6 for 19 from the field, 5 for 11 from 3, but he finished with the 17 points. He'd have 6 rebounds and 6 assists and a steal along the way. Kyle Lowry, their point guard, would finish with 22 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, as he shot 5 for 16 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and he made all 8 of his free throws. Pascal Siakam would have the best performance of the night. He finished with 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists, as he shot 10 for 23 from the field, 2 for 13 from 3. He went 1 for 2 from the line, and with this win, the Toronto Raptors, like I said, even this series up with the Boston Celtics. And after the Celtics took the first 2, I think the momentum is now falling into the Toronto Raptors' court. And then jumping to the second game of the night, in game 2 of the Western Conference semifinals matchup, the 3 seed Denver Nuggets were able to beat the 2 seed Los Angeles Clippers 110-101. With this win, their series is now tied at 1. Starting with the Clippers, they had a all-around performance, especially off the bench. Their power forward, Jeff Green, would finish with 10 points and 11 rebounds in 26 minutes. Montrezl Harrell, who was just named the NBA Sixth Man of the Year, finished with 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 steals in 18 minutes. Lou Williams, their shooting guard, would finish with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists, along with a block in 29 minutes. He took 16 shots, third most on the team. He went 0 for 6 from 3. Out of the starters, Marcus Morris Sr. would finish with 11 points, 3 rebounds. Ivica Zubac, their center, would finish with 15 points and 9 rebounds. Kawhi Leonard, their GOAT level small forward, would finish with 13 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals, and a block, as he shot 4 for 17 from the field in 39 minutes. He shot 0 for 3 from 3, and he made 5 of his 7 free throw attempts. And the top scorer for the Clippers would be Paul George, their elite shooting guard, who finished with 22 points in 42 minutes. He also have 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks on the night. He did 7 for 19 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and he'd make 4 of his 5 free throw attempts, but it just wasn't enough, as the Denver Nuggets were most definitely pouring it on. For them, Michael Porter Jr. would finish with 11 points and 7 rebounds and 2 steals off the bench in 16 minutes. Also, Morris would finish with 10 points and 2 assists in 18 minutes for the Nuggets. Out of the starters, Paul Millsap, their power forward, would finish with 13 points and 6 rebounds in 32 minutes played. Additionally, Gary Harris, their shooting guard, would also finish with 13 rare. I'm not saying it's rare, but these guys haven't really been scoring, especially like this in the playoffs. So this is always good. Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets elite center, would finish with 26 points, 18 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks, with 6 turnovers on the day. He'd shoot 10 for 17 from the field, 4 for 5 from three, and he'd make both of his free throws. And Jamal Murray, the Denver Nuggets point guard, would finish with 27 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a block in 40 minutes, shooting 10 for 21 from the field, 4 for 5 from three, and making both of his free throws, or shooting 3 for 8 from the 3 point line and making 4 of his 5 free throw attempts. And like I said, with this win, the Denver Nuggets have tied this series at 1, and they and the Clippers are both 3 wins away from clinching a spot in the Western Conference Finals against the winner of the Lakers and the Rockets. So that's everything that happened yesterday. Just a brief look into what's going on today. Because it is Sunday, there's going to be an earlier game. At 3:30, the Milwaukee Bucks, the top seed who are down 3-0, are going to face off against the Miami Heat. The Heat are 1 win away from clinching a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals. They very well could do it today. And then following that at 8:30, the Houston Rockets, the West's number 4 seed, are going to take on the number 1 Los Angeles Lakers. Right now, the Houston Rockets lead that series 1-0. And they have a chance to go up 2-0 and move to 2 games away from the Western Conference Final. So that's kind of where we are with the NBA. Now I'm gonna jump out to the WNBA, show you what's going on with that bubble. Because first off, the Connecticut Sun were able to beat the Indiana Fever 96-77 behind Alyssa Thomas's 20 points. Also, the Las Vegas Aces were able to beat the Atlanta Dream 89-79 behind Jackie Young's 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. All around performance. The Aces are now 14-4 as the Dream now dropped to 15-4. And the last game of the night, the Phoenix Mercury, led by Skylar Diggins-Smith, were able to beat the New York Liberty, and they beat them 83-67. Diggins-Smith finished with 30 points and 7 rebounds on the night. With this win, the Phoenix Mercury are 12-7. The Liberty still have the worst record in the WNBA. They have a 2-16 record. So that's everything going on there. Now I'm gonna jump to the hockey bubble because as there were two Game 7s played the previous night. The last Game 7 of the second round of the playoffs was yesterday, and the 6th seed New York Islanders were able to shut out the top seed Philadelphia Flyers. And with this, they will advance to the next round where I think they're going to face off against the Lightning. But going back to yesterday, led by their center, Brock Nelson, he would go on with, he finished with a goal and 2 assists. And of course, their goalie, Greiss, who would... No, he would keep the Flyers scoreless, and the Islanders would win this game 4-0, and they are going to advance to the very next round. The Eastern Conference Stanley Cup Final, where all 4 teams, as of right now, that are still remaining. They're all 4 wins away from a spot for a spot in the Stanley Cup. They've won all these games to get here. They're the only teams that have won 8 games so far. So, I mean, I don't know. That's where that is. But jumping into the first matchup of the Western Conference Stanley Cup Final. It's going to happen between the Dallas Stars and the Las Vegas Golden Knights at 8 p.m. Highly anticipated. The first hockey playoff game in the bubble. That's going to be very exciting. But with that said, I'm going to jump out to baseball to give you a little bit of insight into what's going on out there in that season. And jumping out west, starting out in Oakland, the Oakland A's were able to beat the San Diego Padres 8-4 yesterday. Sean Manaea would pick up his 3rd win of the season. He's now 3-2 on the season. He would allow 1 run and strike out 5 in 5 innings. And then Chris Paddock would pick up his 4th loss for the Padres. He allowed 4 runs, striking out 6 in 4.2 innings. For the Padres, their elite shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., would finish 1 for 4 with a walk, striking out twice. Their elite third baseman, Manny Machado, would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI on the day. Eric Hosmer finished 0 for 4 with an RBI. Austin Nola, their catcher, would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he did his 6th home run of the season. Jumping out to the Oakland A's, their center fielder Laureano would finish 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his fifth home run of the season. Their elite third baseman Matt Chapman would finish 0 for 5 as he struck out 5 times. Their first baseman Matt Olson would finish 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs as well. And then their catcher Jonah Heim would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and then 2 runs for the day. With this win, the Oakland A's are 23-13, and with this loss, the San Diego Padres are 24-17. Both teams are doing incredibly well this season. Now we're gonna jump out to Los Angeles. To Anaheim, I'm sorry. There was a doubleheader between the Angels and the Astros, hosted by the Angels. The Angels were the home team the first time. The Astros were the home team the second time. For the first game, the Angels were able to beat the Houston Astros 10-9 in the seventh inning thanks to a Joe Adell walk-off hit. But basically, Belak will get the start. He'd allow 4 earned runs in 3.5 innings. Canning will get the start for the Angels, giving up 4 runs in 4 innings while striking out 4. For the Houston Astros, their designated hitter, George Springer, would finish 1 for 3 with 2 runs. Their center fielder, Miles Straw, would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. Their right fielder, Kyle Tucker, would finish 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. He hit his 7th home run of the season. For the Los Angeles Angels, their GOAT-level center fielder, Mike Trout, would have a day. For the first game, he would finish 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 4 runs. He hit his 15th home run of the season last night. Additionally, their right fielder, Joe Adell, would finish 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run, as he did have the game-winning 2-run single in the bottom of the 7th to give the Angels their 15th win. And then jumping out to the second game, the Los Angeles Angels, as the away team, were able to beat the Astros 7-6. Once again, winning this game in the 7th off of an Anthony Rendon 3-run home run that saw them go from down 6-4 to up 7-6. Just a big hit for him. For the Los Angeles Angels, their GOAT-level designated hitter, Mike Trout, would finish 1 for 2 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. He'd finish with 6 runs on the day in combined in both games. Anthony Rendon, their elite third baseman, would finish 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. Albert Pujols, their future Hall of Fame first baseman, finished 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run this game. And with this, going and then looking at the Houston Astros, where he was going for them, George Springer, their center fielder, would finish 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He had 2 home runs in the second game. He now has 7 on the season, and Josh Reddick hit his third as the right fielder hit 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a run. With both wins, the Los Angeles Angels are now 16-25 in the AL West, and with both losses, the Astros are now 21-18. Staying out west, but jumping out to downtown LA, the Los Angeles Dodgers hosted the Colorado Rockies and lost 5-2. It was a pretty close game up until the 9th, where an RBI single from Nolan Arenado would break the 2-2 tie at make it 3-2, and then Josh Fuentes' 2-run double would make it 5-3, putting it out of reach for the Los Angeles Dodgers. German Marquez would get the start for the Rockies. He would allow 2 earned runs in 7 innings pitched, striking out 5. And he would get no decision. Tony Gonsolin would make the start for the Dodgers. He allowed 1 earned run, 2 runs total, striking out 8 in 6 innings. Neither pitchers got the decision as the game went to the 9th inning. Starting off with the Dodgers, their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, would finish 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run, former AL MVP Mookie Betts. Additionally, he and Corey Seager were the only 2 players to get RBIs. Corey Seager went 1 for 4 with an RBI on the day. For the Colorado Rockies, their designated hitter, Charlie Blackmon, finished 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs, as he's still hitting incredibly well. Their elite third baseman, Nolan Arenado, would finish 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Fuentes, their pinch hitter, would finish 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs and a hit that they definitely needed. With this win, the Colorado Rockies are 19-20. With this loss, the Dodgers are 30-11. As you can tell, they're the last team to pick up 11 losses. Jumping out to Seattle, the Seattle Mariners hosted the Texas Rangers and beat them 5-3. Sheffield would get the start for the Mariners. He'd allowed 2 earned runs through 7 innings pitched, striking out 6. He wouldn't get a decision. Gibson would make the start for the Texas Rangers. He would allow 2 earned runs through 4.2 innings pitched, striking out 4. For the Texas Rangers, Their right fielder, Sin-Soo Choo, would finish 4 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his fifth home run of the season. And also Tejada would hit his second home run of the season as the shortstop, finished 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Looking out to the Mariners, their center fielder Kyle Lewis finished 1 for 4 with an RBI. Their second baseman Ty France would finish the game 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. Just spread it out along the board. But with this win, the Seattle Mariners are now 17-22, and the Texas Rangers are now 13-25. Jumping out to the Bay for the last game out west, the San Francisco Giants were able to beat the Arizona Diamondbacks at home with a pair of 2-run innings to help get them this win. For the Giants, it will be Cahill getting the start, but Baraja will get the win. Madison Bumgarner would pick up his fourth loss of the season against his former team. He still has yet to win a game this season as a starter. He gave up 2 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, striking out 2, but I guess it wasn't enough. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, their first baseman Christian Walker would finish 1 for 3 with an RBI. Their third baseman Eduardo Escobar would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI, and Varsho would hit his first home run of the season as he finished 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Looking out to the Giants, Wilmer Flores, their second baseman, finished 2 for 4. Evan Longoria, the former AL MVP, their third baseman, finished 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. He hit his fifth home run of the season. Ruff hit his second home run of the season. In the second inning. Both home runs were in the second inning, by the way. Joey Bart would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run, as he's been doing pretty well in his first couple starts as a starting catcher. With this win, the San Francisco Giants are 19-21, and the Arizona Diamondbacks are 15-25. Jumping out to Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs had a doubleheader against their NL Central rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals. The first game, the Cubs were the home team. The second game, the Cardinals were the home team. In the first game, the Cardinals were able to beat the Cubs 4-2 in 7 innings. Adam Wainwright would pick up his fourth win of the season. He would allow 2 earned runs on 6 innings pitched, striking out 6. Alzolay would pick up the loss for the Cubs, only pitching 2.2 innings, allowing 2 earned runs and striking out 4 in that time. For the Chicago Cubs, their elite third baseman, Chris Bryant, would go 0-for-4. Their center fielder, Ian Happ, would be the only player to really get RBIs. He finished 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit 2 solo home runs, one in the first inning and one in the fifth inning. He's now sitting on 12 home runs for the season. Their right fielder, Tommy Edman, would finish 1-for-3 with an RBI and a run. Their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would finish 0-for-2 with 2 walks on the day. Paul DeJong, their shortstop, would finish 1-for-3 with an RBI. And then that was the first game. The Cardinals beat them by 2. Jumping to the second game when the Cardinals were the home team, the Cardinals beat the Cubs 5-1 off of mainly due to a 3-run second inning. Big game. No one really pitched incredibly long. For the Chicago Cubs, their elite shortstop, Javi Baez, would finish 0-for-3 with 2 strikeouts. Not much going once again for the Cubs. They only got 1 run. The RBI came from Bodie, their first baseman, as he went 0-for-3. For the St. Louis Cardinals, their third baseman, Tommy Edman, would finish 1-for-3 with a run. Their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would finish 1-for-2 with a walk. Their left fielder, Tyler O'Neill, will go on to finish 2-for-3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs for the day. With both wins, the St. Louis Cardinals are now sitting at 16-15, and the Chicago Cubs are now 23-17 in the NL Central. Staying in the NL Central, the Cincinnati Reds were able to beat the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh 6-2. A big win for Garrett is. He won in relief. DeSclafani, sorry if I butchered the name. He'd allowed 2 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, striking out 2. Williams would get the loss for the Pittsburgh Pirates, giving up 5 runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 6. For the Pirates, their third baseman, Eric Gonzalez, would finish 3-for-4 with a run. He had a pretty good hitting night for him. Polanco would finish with an RBI as he finished 0-for-3. Same with Stallings, their catcher, he went 1-for-4 with an RBI. He hit his second home run of the season. For the Cincinnati Reds, in addition to this, Barnhart would hit his third home run of the season as the catcher would finish 1-for-3 with an RBI and a run. Eugenio Suarez, the Reds' third baseman, would hit. I think he'd have the hitting performance of the night. He finished with 3 home runs on the day, finishing with 12 home. He has 12 home runs on the season now. He go 3 for 4 with 5 RBIs and 3 runs. All 3 of his hits were home runs. And with this win, the Cincinnati Reds are 18-22 as the Pittsburgh Pirates fall to 12-26. I believe, along with the Kansas City Royals, the Pirates have the most losses in baseball. I think they definitely have the least amount of wins, but they might have the most losses too. Jumping out to the last NL Central team, the Milwaukee Brewers they went to Cleveland. They were hosted by the Indians, and the Cleveland Indians were able to get the best of them 4-3. They were able to score 3 runs in the 5th, and once the Milwaukee Brewers tied it up, it would be Cesar Hernandez who would get the game-winning RBI walk-off single off Josh Hader. And going into this game, Josh Hader he'd allowed no hits in his first 12 appearances. He gave up 2 last night, and he'd pick up his first loss of the season. And right now, the Indians have a 24-15 record over the Brewers, who are 18-20 in their own division. Starting off with the Brewers, their elite left fielder, Christian Yelich, finished 2 for 5 with a strikeout on the day. Keston Hiura, their second baseman, finished 1 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 11th home run of the season. Orlando Arcia would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as the Brewers shortstop finished with his 3rd home run of the day. Jumping to the Cleveland Indians, their second baseman, Cesar Hernandez, would finish 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run, including the game-winning single in the 9th inning. Jose Ramirez he'd finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. They were the 2 players to get RBIs for the Indians. And like I said, they're sitting at 24-15 in the AL Central. And the Brewers are now 18-20 within their division. Now jumping out to the AL Central, now that we've seen the Cleveland Indians win their game, the Chicago White Sox are able to get a win at the Kansas City Royals, beating them 5-3. Lucas Giolito would pick up his 4th win of the season. He'd allow 3 earned runs, striking out 9 batters in 6 innings. Bubic would get his 5th loss for the Royals. He was not picked up a win yet. He's 0-5. There were 5 total runs allowed while he was pitching as he struck out 4 batters, and he pitched 7 innings. For the Kansas City Royals, their third baseman, Michael Franco, had finished 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Looking out for the Chicago White Sox, their shortstop, Tim Anderson, would finish 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. Yasmani Grandal, their first baseman, would finish 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Jose Abreu, their designated hitter, would finish 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. With this win, the Chicago White Sox are 25-15 as the Kansas City Royals now drop to and have the MLB lead 26 losses. They're now 14-26. Staying out in the AL Central, the Minnesota Twins hosted the Detroit Tigers and beat them 4-3. First off, an amazing pitching performance from Skubal of the Detroit Tigers, who would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings, striking out 6. Kenta Maeda would be the opposing pitcher, allowing 3 runs in 6 innings pitched while striking out 8. It would go down to the very end where Miguel Sano would tie the game up. They were down 3-2 coming into the bottom of the 9th. After hitting a home run to bring them down so Miguel, first they were down 3-1. Miguel Sano would hit a solo home run in the 7th inning to make it 3-2, and then he'd have a RBI single to tie it up at 3. And then Byron Buxton would have an infield single, make it safe to first base to clinch the game with 2 outs. And I think that was one of the biggest plays of the night. With this win, the Detroit Tigers are 7. The Minnesota Twins are now 25-16, and the Tigers are now 17-20 with this loss. For the Tigers, their center fielder Victor Reyes would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he has 4 home runs on the season now. Looking to the Minnesota batters, their first baseman Miguel Sano would finish 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Like I said, the Twins still trying to hold on to their positioning out in the Central. Now, last but not least, jumping out to the East, Starting off in Tampa Bay, the Miami Marlins were able to get the best of the Tampa Bay Rays, beating them 7-3, and now they're back at 500. Sandy Alcantara would get the win against Blake Snell. Blake Snell for the Tampa Bay Rays would pick up his first loss of the season. He's now 3-1. He would allow 4 earned runs, 5 runs total, and 5 innings pitched, striking out 8. Sandy Alcantara would allow 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched, striking out 8. For the Tampa Bay Rays, not much really going on except for their catcher, Michael Perez, who would finish 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. Just big game for him, not much going on for anyone else. But for the Miami Marlins, their designated hitter, Corey Dickerson, would finish 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run, as he now has 6 home runs on the season. Just big overall game for just the team that they needed. With this win, they're officially 17-17, and the Tampa Bay Rays are 27-13, still sitting at the very top of the AL East. Of course, staying out east, staying in the American League, the Boston Red Sox hosted the Toronto Blue Jays and beat them 9-8 in the 9th inning off of a fielder's choice. Just a great hitting performance, of course, from both sides. Teoscar Hernandez would hit his 14th home run for the Toronto Blue Jays, as the right fielder finished 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 3 home runs. Additionally, their elite first baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would finish 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He walked twice as well, but he also hit his 6th home run of the season in the 6th inning. And the Blue Jays were eventually up 8-6 at one point, I believe. But then Boston would rally. I want to say it was Rafael Devers who hit a home run in the 7th. And then Xander Bogaerts would hit a home run in the 9th to tie up the game, but then it would be an RBI, or it would be a hit to third base by Yairo Munoz. He would go home, but the throw wasn't in time, and the Boston Red Sox would win the game. For the Red Sox, or specifically the right fielder Alex Verdugo would finish 2 for 5 with a run. Their third baseman Rafael Devers would finish 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run. Their center fielder Jackie Bradley Jr. would finish 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run, as he had his 5th home run of the season. JD Martinez would hit his 4th home run of the season, as the designated hitter finished 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Boston Red Sox are 14-27, as the Toronto Blue Jays slipped to 21-18. Going out to the last AL East matchup, the Baltimore Orioles were able to beat the Yankees at home 6-1 after a 5-run 6th inning put them basically out in front to where the Yankees couldn't come back. Keegan Akin would get the start for the Baltimore Orioles. He would allow no runs in 5.1 innings. He would walk 4 batters. He would strike out 8. He had an amazing start, but he would get a no decision. Tate would get the win for the Baltimore Orioles. Garrett Cole would pick up his 3rd straight loss for the Yankees. He started out 4-0. Now he's 4-3. He allowed 1 earned run, 5 total runs. He struck out 10 batters in 6 innings. Just with that, not much going. So first for the Yankees, their first baseman Luke Voit would go 0 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout. Their elite shortstop Gleyber Torres would finish 1 for 3 with a walk. Clint Frazier, their right fielder, would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. The only RBI and run for the Yankees is he hit a solo home run in the 5th inning off of Fry. And then for the Baltimore Orioles, their left fielder, Ryan Mountcastle, finished 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their third baseman, Rio Ruiz, he would go on and he would finish 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and he struck out twice. Their right fielder, DJ Stewart, would finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He had 2 home runs in the game, 1 in the 6th inning off Garrett Cole. With this win, the Baltimore Orioles are 18-21 in the AL East, and the New York Yankees are now 21-18. Jumping out to the National League East, the New York Mets hosted the Philadelphia Phillies and beat them 5-1 at home. Lugo would pick up the win as he pitched 5 innings, allowed 1 earned run, struck out 8. Howard would pick up the loss. He allowed 3 earned runs in 4 innings, striking out 3. For the Phillies, Rhys Hoskins was the only player to pick up an RBI. He finished 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run, as he hit his 8th home run of the season in the 1st inning to give the Phillies the first lead of the game. The Mets were they just turned it back around, and they weren't able to come back. So Andres Jimenez, the Mets shortstop, would finish 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs, as he walked as well. Just big game for him. Official and also going on, Dominic Smith, their first baseman, finished 1-for-4 with an RBI. With this win, the New York Mets are now 18-22, and the Phillies now dropped to 19-16. And now going out to the last game of the night, the NL East leading Atlanta Braves hosted the Washington Nationals, the defending champs, and the Nationals were able to beat them 10-4, especially off of a 5-run ninth inning where the Braves just simply couldn't come back. It would be Fidi that got the start for the Nationals. He gave up 4 runs in less than 4 innings. He struck out 2. Max Fried would get the start for the Braves. He gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 4. For the Atlanta Braves, their elite center fielder Ronald Acuna Jr. would finish 1-for-3 with an RBI and a run with 2 walks. He hit his 9th home run of the season. Travis d'Arnaud would hit his 6th home run for the season as he finished 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Adam Duvall would finish 2-for-4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 9th home run of the season for the Braves. And additionally, their elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman, would go 0-for-3 with a walk on the day. Marcell Ozuna would go 1-for-3 with a run. Going out to Washington, their center fielder, Victor Robles, would finish 3-for-5 with an RBI and 2 runs. They hit no home runs as a team, but they were still really hitting it. Howie Kendrick finished 1-for-5 with 2 RBIs. Their catcher, Kurt Suzuki, would finish 1-for-4 with 2 RBIs and a run on the day. Their third baseman, Carter Kieboom, would go 1-for-4 with an RBI and a run. Their left fielder, Brock Holt, would go on to finish 4-for-5 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Washington Nationals are 14-24 as the Atlanta Braves slip to 23-16. And with that said, I'm just going to give you a quick look as to what there is to look out for with today's baseball, because I'll go through the standings and stuff tomorrow. But looking out to what to look out for, because it's Sunday, there's going to be some earlier games. Masahiro Tanaka looks to get a second win for the New York Yankees as they take on the Baltimore Orioles at 105. Aaron Nola looks to get his 5th win of the season. He's 4-2. He faces off against the 2-1 Jacob deGrom, an elite pitcher, the reigning back-to-back National League Cy Young winner, as the Phillies take on the Mets at 110. That's going to be an amazing pitching performance. The Nats take on the Braves at 110 as Patrick Corbin looks to get his 3rd win of the season. Tyler Glasnow looks to get his 3rd win as the Tampa Bay Rays take on the Miami Marlins at 1 o'clock as well. Shane Bieber looks to get his 7th win. He's 6-0 on the season. They take on the Brewers at 110. Additionally, Dallas Keuchel is 5-2, looking to get his 6th win as the White Sox take on the Royals at 2:05. Casey Mize is looking to get his 1st win as a starting pitcher for the Detroit Tigers as they take on the Twins, led by Rich Hill today at 2:05. Johnny Cueto's 2-0, looking to get his 3rd win as the Giants take on the D-backs at 4:05. Mike Fiers looks to get his 5th win as the Oakland A's, take on the San Diego Padres at 4:10. That's going to be an amazing matchup. Justin Dunn's looking to get his 3rd win of the season as the Seattle Mariners take on the Texas Rangers at 4:10. Dakota Hudson takes on John Lester as the Cardinals-Cubs rivalry continues at 7:08 today. And the last game of the night, Castellani is going to make the start for the Rockies as Julio Urias is going to make his start for the Dodgers to try to get his 4th win of the season. So that's everything going on with baseball and with playoff basketball, hockey, and then there's the WNBA bubble. That's everything that happened yesterday on Saturday, September 5th, 2020. But once again, today it is Sunday, September 6th, 2020. This is The Elite. I'm James Sims. I want to thank you once again for hearing my piece. Peace out.